Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first ever Atlantic Highlands First Aid volunteer virtual information session. We really appreciate you for being here tonight and giving of your time to listen to us. My name is Richard Huff. I am the president of the Atlantic Highlands First Aid Squad. Our goal here is to give you an overview of what we do and how we do it and where you fit in helping us out. Now, normally we would do this when we would see folks on the street during car shows, the craft fair, the fireman's fair, but like everything, the pandemic has sort of upended recruitment this year. At the end of our presentations, we'll be happy to answer any questions you may have for as loud as you'd like. So that's how we start every call. We'll get paged around town. In our own homes, our pagers just like these go off, alerting to us that there's an emergency. Our phones will ding, and then the process will start. Our members then respond to the building, jump in the ambulance, and head to the emergency wherever it is in our town. But before that happens, before we begin that emergency, each one of us has a story that starts long before that call. And that's what gets us involved. Each one of our members has a unique story that got them to join the audience, join this organization. Sorry. Now, my story starts in 2005. Back then, Jerry Pandolfo, one of our life members, was trying to convince me to join. At the time, I was monitoring the response frequency, and a call went out in the harbor. It was for a young boy with a broken arm. The call went out and nobody answered. It went out again and nobody answered. It went out a third time. At that point, I turned to my wife and I said, this is why I need to join. I didn't want another mother to ever have to wait for an ambulance to get there to provide them help. It has been that moment that has driven my involvement with the Atlantic Highlands First Aid Squad and my involvement in the EMS world in general. That moment, that change in my life has sparked my career here. And we're going to share a few more of those stories. I'd like to introduce you to Sean McBride. Sean has been a member of this organization for 22 years. Sean?
Thanks, Rich. Yeah, my story, pretty much the same thing about helping people out. I had joined the fire department in Middletown Township as a firefighter back in 1985. I was 18 at the time. I had all my gear in my car, everything else. We rolled up. There was I was with a bunch of friends. There was a head-on collision. I thought I knew what I was doing. I had my turnout gear. I had multiple extinguishers. I had friends to help, but there was no fire, and I didn't know what to do. The people were screaming, "Help me, help me, help me." I could make sure that their car didn't burn, but I didn't know what to do. From that point forward, I said, I will never not know what to do. I want to help as much as I can. And again, that was back in 1989. And it has changed my life. The confidence that you have, the fact that you can help people, the lives you change and how it changes your life is just absolutely amazing. I've never had a regret.
Thank you, Sean. Really appreciate your story. Now I'd like to introduce you to our chief, Ann Scholler. Ann has the distinction of being the first woman to be the chief of the Atlantic Highlands First Aid Squad. Ann?
Thank you, Rich. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for your interest in the Atlantic Highlands First Aid Squad. Now on to my story. My baby stopped breathing from a seizure. I called 911. They knew exactly what to do. The members that arrived at my house took over, helped me on my worst day. I was forever indebted, forever grateful to them. I told myself one day I would give back. And now as the chief at Atlantic Highlands First Aid, I'm giving back, and so can you. So please join us, and we welcome all members. Thank you. Back to you, Rich.
Thank you, Ann. And as you can see, that's just a small sample of the kinds of stories and the reasons that we get involved. You can see some of our members are watching this event as it unfolds. They each have stories that they can share as well. So we want to give you some stats. In 2020, we responded to 383 calls. Just 8 members of our organization made 10% or more of those calls. That means 8 people carried the weight of this organization in responding to those calls. That's a pretty huge number if you think about it. Now, there were many others who responded to fewer calls, and every person responding counts. But when you look at the numbers, that's kind of a small number. 8 is a lonely number for sure. Now, to give you a sense of where we stand this year, already to date, we have hit 82 calls. And they're for a variety of emergencies. They range from simple cuts, scrapes, COVID-19, car accidents, and more. Now, if we just look at February, in February, there were 43 calls where at least one member responded to the building. Now, our minimum crew is 2 people. We need 2 people to staff an ambulance and get the ambulance out the door. Now, of those 43, there were 18 calls that went unanswered because only one person showed up. In those cases, we had to rely on help from out of town, or in some cases, a paid service came in that bills for service, and they were our backup. But there were 18 calls that we were just one member short of getting out the door. Now, look, there are 4,300 plus people who live in Atlantic Highlands. Using rudimentary math, there's a 1 in 12 chance that you will come into contact with one of our members on some sort of emergency. But viewed another way, if just a few of those 4,300 became new volunteers, 18 calls in February would have been answered. And that's why we're here tonight. There is a place for you here. Our members are just like you. We're teachers, doctors, lawyers, fishermen, homemakers, journalists, salespeople, stockbrokers, and more. You name it, we have people just like you here. Each one of us comes together to make this squad happen. We come from different walks of life. We live in different worlds, but we meet at the ambulance. We have one goal, and that's making your life better. We are looking for everyone. There are no people turned away here. Maybe you're a retiree and have extra time on your hands. Maybe you're a college student, you're in town between breaks. Homemakers, you've got time, we can use it. We have needs on days, we have needs at nights, we have flexible hours. No experience is necessary. We provide you with all of the training. We provide you with everything you need to get the job done. And we will walk you from the beginning to the end to make sure you're ready to do that.
You can see here, we have other equipment in addition to our ambulances. We have 2 ambulances. Top left corner, you can see we have a Polaris. It's an ATV vehicle that we use on the trail. We respond to calls along the Henry Hudson Trail primarily. We have the Zodiac inflatable boat, which we use for water rescues, for medical emergencies on the water. We're also partners with Keyport on a medical ambulance bus. We refer to it as the MAB. It can provide care for up to 20 people at a time. It's been used to evacuate nursing homes. Most recently, it was used in the Toms River fires to rehab the firefighters. And of course, our most prized possession, the Santa sleigh. Every December, the squad drives around the community with Santa, collecting for the food bank in town and sharing in the joy of the holiday season with our neighbors.
Thank you, Ann. Now, what do? We are first responders, and we're here to respond to emergency calls. Our EMTs respond 24/7, around the clock, every day, doesn't matter on the weather. But what does it mean to really be a first responder? Well, part of it is being selfless. It means being willing to work with a team to provide help to another person at their worst moment. It means dedicating yourself and some of your time to consistently learning new skills, new tools, in order to deliver care at a high level. Sometimes it means being a calming force at a time of a calamity. It means believing in yourself, that you can be an agent of change, whether it's bandaging a broken arm or sometimes simply holding the hand of a terrified patient en route to the hospitals. This means you are willing to give up just some little bit of yourself to help someone else. In exchange, I guarantee you, you will reach an unmatched level of personal satisfaction. Now, we have a variety of level of memberships, and there's a place for you here. Our EMTs are our top level providers, and we need one of those at least for every call. We also have openings for emergency medical drivers who are critical to our operation. I mentioned to you earlier, there were 18 calls that would have been answered in February if one more person showed up. Many times, if that person was just a driver or an emergency medical driver, that ambulance would have gotten out and we would have been able to serve you. Emergency medical drivers complete the team and they work alongside EMTs to provide help. But maybe medical stuff is not for you. We get that. We all understand that. That's fine. We also need your other skills. You are experts in a number of areas where we can take advantage of your hands. We're a nonprofit organization. Perhaps your experience in finance or fundraising or anything. If you have a skill, we can use it. You can help us grow and thrive. Now, there are many benefits that come with helping another person in their time of need. Some of those are career building skills like communications, teamwork, rapid problem solving, and so much more. And many of those skills can be translated to your world outside of EMS. It's a great resume builder for some. But there is that sense of personal satisfaction that cannot be measured. There's no way to quantify it. I can't put a price on it. There's no way to figure that out. However, there is an emotional, visceral reaction you will experience when you know you have made a difference in someone's life. And you can only do that in what we do. For those who qualify, there is a length of service program provided by the borough. The borough provides funds to members who reach certain activity levels. After 3 years, that's $1,150. Over time, however you manage your money, that can grow to a sizable chunk of change for doing something you're volunteering for. For others, there's a college tuition credit program you can take advantage of. And some other things. We're also a host agency of the New Jersey EMS Task Force, which is a statewide organization. And being part of this squad allows you to participate in larger EMS operations around the state. We're also members of the EMS Council of New Jersey, which represents 242 squads around the state. There is a sense of belonging that comes from helping make your community stronger. We've heard repeatedly in the last year that we're all in this together. Well, here at the First Aid Squad, we are. We live that every day. Being a member of the First Aid Squad makes you a part of the fabric of this community in ways that no other group can. You will have an instant impact on countless lives by being part of the squad. Now, we've mentioned already, it's not all blood and guts. There may be some of that, but 99% of it doesn't include that. But there's also an aspect of this organization that exceeds that as well. Part of what we do is community outreach. Now, in non-pandemic times, and hopefully we'll get there real soon, we do community training. We provide first aid and CPR training to organizations. We've mentioned the Santa runs, which are an incredible experience for this community in December. There's also the food drive. More than a decade ago, we factored in a food drive to our Santa runs. Since that time, we have donated, or the community, with the community's help, we have donated thousands of food items and thousands of dollars to the food pantry that go to directly impact our community. And we thank everybody who's contributed to that. And as I mentioned before, we're at every local event. We are at the car shows, the craft fairs, any of those things where we provide blood pressure checks and other things along the way. Together, we can make a difference. With your help, we can change this place. So the question is, what happens if we went away? If there were no more all-volunteer first aid squad? Well, as we've seen in other towns, funding a standalone service could cost taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars. If a paid service took over fully, you would be billed for every EMS call. And there is a sense of pride that comes with neighbors helping neighbors that you can't replace. Now, as part of our service, we often follow up with a survey to our community, and the residents appreciate what the members do. These are just some of the comments. The first aid squad did an excellent professional job. They handled a difficult situation admirably. We understand they appreciate us, and we want you to be part of that. For not more than 90 years, this organization has provided free EMS service to the community. We operate financially on the generous donations from the borough and from you, our friends and neighbors. And we operate with the help of dedicated volunteers who give their time to be there when that pager goes off. Never have we charged for our service. If you call us, we provide the care and transport you to the hospital for free. We do it with our time. So here's our ask. We need at least 10 people to join our organization today. We'll take more for sure. And yeah, this is a sales pitch here. What we need is your commitment to lend a hand to us so together we can help our neighbors. There is no doubt some of you are here tonight because you've heard about challenges we've had in getting calls answered. You may have called for help and gotten help from an outside agency. We appreciate what our mutual aid partners do for us, but we take it we take it personally, each and every one of us, when we can't be there for you. We failed like we failed like we failed you personally if we've not reached that. And that's why we're here tonight, because we'd like your help. Joining could not be easier. It starts with an application. You can find the link to that in the chat. We'll also provide some links at the end that you can go to. You fill it out, you'll need a doctor's signature, and you'll need it notarized. It's a very simple application. Once that happens, you'll meet with our membership team, and they'll walk you through the process. We follow you through to make sure you're not left out. We'll provide you CPR training. We'll get you driver training and get you started as quickly as possible being a contributing member of this organization. And what we often find is people come in and they want to just drive, and the minute they're involved in a call, realize, hey, I want to do more. I want to be involved with the patient. And from there, we'll walk you through the medical training process and get you some of that training as quickly as possible. If you want to be an EMT, we'll find a program and walk you through that. There is a place for you here. As you've seen, there are multiple levels. We started this off by telling you some of our stories. Now we want to help you write your EMS story. What will that be? If you had any hesitation before this and joining, set that aside. Get that application started. You'll see our email at the end where you can get some help. We're here to help you, and we need your help. We'll be happy to answer any questions you have about the organization, about what it takes to be a member. If you'd like, please raise your hand in the chat, and we'll take as many questions as we can. And finally, you can find more information on our website, which is ahfirstaid.org. You can email us at info@ahfirstaid.org. And if you have a smartphone and open up your camera app and hold it up to the screen, you'll be able to go right to our website through that QR code that's on the screen now. I'll leave that up momentarily, and then we'll stop sharing the screen so we can answer some of your questions you may have.
Thanks, Rich. We have Karen Messina up first.
Hello, my name's Corinne Messina, and I'd like to, first of all, thank everybody because I too have been the recipient of help from you guys when my daughter had a seizure, and it was a terrible moment, and I still get choked up when I see the responders that came that day, and it was many years ago. I have a couple of questions. One is, what is the process to learn to be a driver, just to like get myself going and starting, and how long is the average call?
The average call is approximately an hour and a half. Obviously, that can go longer, that can go shorter, but that's what I like to put in my head. Do I have an hour and a half? And then I go from there. As far as becoming a driver, so you would fill out the application as Rich went through, get your background check, all that. And then once you become a member, we will set you up with a CPR class if you don't already have it. And then there's a class called CEVO. It's an online class now, or you can take it in person, which teaches you how to operate an emergency vehicle. And then you will be paired up with somebody who will take you out on the ambulance, teach you how to drive, learn all the radio codes, and everything you need. You drive to all of the hospitals, learn how to park the rig, do all the maneuvers. It's not as hard as it seems. And then you can get going and start answering calls from there. So that really isn't that long of a process to become a driver.
Excellent. Thank you, Ann.
You're welcome.
And could I just ask one more question? Sorry. I'm also a registered nurse, and I was wondering, is there any special process that you can go through if you have any medical training?
So you can, as an RN, you can take the 3 refreshers, which coincidentally, we're having them here in Atlantic Highlands in April. So we would have to scoot your membership through, but we would love to do that for you and for us. You apply as an EMT in New Jersey, which is just a couple buttons online, and then you would sit for your national registry exam, and you can be an EMT. Now, you would have to work in the scope of an EMT, not a nurse, but you could obviously use your knowledge and base of a nurse in decision making and those types of things. Thank you.
Okay. Great questions too, by the way. Any other questions? Just raise your hand in the chat and we'll be happy to answer them. Okay, somebody, let me unmute you. Stand by, let me get. Are you unmuted now?
Yeah, but I didn't have anything. Thank you.
Okay,
Sorry about that.
no worries. Okay, any other questions?
I have no question, but I'll just say thank you for organizing this tonight and helping to get your message out and spread the word that we need membership. And hopefully everybody here tonight will also act as your ambassadors and spread the word. And I know your social media campaign, you've really stepped that up over the last couple of weeks. And, you know, we'll be keeping fingers crossed that we can get more interested people to join your ranks. Thank you for everything you do.
Hey, this was me again, if you can hear me. Can you send out to us your refresher courses? I am an EMT and have been for 12 years, but a little lacking on some of my CEUs. And I would like to attend the 3 refresher courses.
Great. So if you email info@ahfirstaid.org,
Yeah.
and can get you the information about those upcoming refreshers.
Yeah, because mine just expired in March. I've been an EMT for 12 years, so it just expired.
What's your name, sir?
Thank you.
What's your name? Can you tell us what your name is?
Steve Wolf, WOLF.
Great,
Great.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, just drop in a note and we'll get you that information immediately.
Yeah, I just need to get my EMT license back. I mean, I've been in it for 12 years, captain for years, and I'd like to get involved with you guys. Seem like a great organization.
Excellent. Appreciate that. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. Well, with that, again, we'd really like to thank you for taking your time to be here tonight and to listen to our message. Please spread the word if you're passionate about volunteering as we are. anything you can do to tell folks would be greatly appreciated. So thank you for being here, and we look forward to your membership applications. Have a
Thank you.
great night.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.